Well, I mean, look, I think the country is just desperate for change. You know, Mark Fisher of the Washington Post wrote a really interesting piece over the weekend profiling Trump supporters and busting the stereotype of what the elite media is making them out to be, a bunch of uninformed, low information voters. He found something very different. These are patriotic people who want the country to be turned around, and they're tired of the corruption and the money in Washington. It was a fascinating piece.
Do you know what? You know who nailed it? And you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but listen to Mike Tyson last week. He actually said, you realize how insulting you are when you tell people that Donald Trump can't be president? The American people are saying, I support you, and you're making them sound like idiots. He was yelling at the Huffington Post interviewer. That's essentially what you found out, what you're talking about now.
Yeah, well, if the Republican Party thinks they're going to be able to replace all those outsider voters for Carson and Trump, good luck. I mean, I guess they're going to try to find them among some other aggrieved population and make it all work out in the end. But I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Period.
A majority of those who respond to the polls say they are for the outsiders, so that says a lot. Meanwhile, let's talk about some of the things in the news today. This is breaking, and we all remember back in June when a Texas judge said, hey, that amnesty program that the Obama administration's doing is illegal, so he put a hold on it. Well, now, as it turns out, Laura, there's a leaked Department of Homeland Security memo that apparently the administration is looking at Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, and Plan E, 4 different scenarios to circumvent this injunction that the judge has placed on the administration.
Right. The left will work around the clock to cement its transformation of America. Demographic transformation, upending social norms, all the other ways the culture is affected by all of this. This has been a goal of this administration from the very, very beginning. The old traditions of America, the old people of America, the old middle class, the old blue-collar workers, they need to be replaced with a new electorate. People are on to this scam now, and there's a lot that goes on with this leaked memo. But the number one thing we know is that John Boehner should have really fought that executive amnesty with a PR campaign that went coast to coast, because this is what they're always planning to do. Now the Republicans are kind of sitting back on their heels, and they're going to say, this is outrageous that the administration's doing this. No kidding, guys.
They have a card to play. They have a card to play, Laura. And you know what it is? The Republican support for the Pacific Trade Agreement. And for they're supporting it, they want to do it. Well, the president wants it. Now you say to him, Mr. President, I see what you're doing. I read this memo. We're pulling our support for 18 months. We're going to revisit this when the next president comes in. That is a card to play because he wants it.
That's a card to play, but frankly, I think that TPP is such an outrageous encroachment on congressional authority. They shouldn't be approving that anyway. I think they're two separate issues, both constitutional, both about congressional oversight.
Okay, Laura, let me ask you about an issue you really care about. In 2010, the president promised to get rid of veterans' homelessness. Well, now we're going, by the end of 2015, he said he would do this. You are taking this head on. It's not been the case, and we're approaching winter here. Our nation's greatest are without a roof over their head. You say?
Yes, in 2010, the president announced an initiative. He wanted to end homelessness among vets. So I decided it was time for us to look into this at LifeSat, and I think we have a clip that we're going to play of this video 2 miles from the White House.
We've got it right here, Frank.
Okay, let's watch it.
We're not going to rest until every veteran who has fought for America has a home in America.
He's full of, he don't understand the outside. He needs to come outside, break away from his norm, and meet these people.
Big push to get veterans in housing by the end of the year. You know, here I am 4 months later. You know what I mean?
Man's been struggling, trying to make ends meet. It's really hard to live out here, man. It really is, because you don't make a lot of money. We're working. We got to go. We're trying to get out of here.
Laura, these images are heartbreaking. These are veterans who have served our nation, and they are homeless in the shadow of the White House.
About 1.5 miles from the White House. It's right near our offices at LifeSat, and I drive by it on the way to Fox, and right near Fox, in our Fox bureau here, there's a homeless shelter where people line up. Most people, line up early in the day to get a spot in the shelter. When you see homeless females, homeless moms, homeless veterans, you think to yourself, how do we do this to our country? How do we do this to these men and women who serve this country so proudly? How do we allow this to happen? The VA has given $5 million for vans, $9 million for vans, $5 million for female homeless vets. There's been a little help around the edges, but at a time where we're considering bringing in 15,000 refugees from another country, I would say to the folks watching, my goodness, don't we owe a debt to these men and women first and foremost? Can't we do something with a private-public partnership that is actually meaningful? A couple of $10 million here or there is not really going to make a difference. We need real action, and if we have to spend our federal tax dollars, I would say the veterans deserve it first.
I think we could all.
What I
think America would work an extra day if we knew this money
Bingo.
was going to them. I think that we would all pick up part-time jobs, whatever it would, to get that money to go directly there.
And Brian and Elizabeth and Steve, this video is on FoxNews.com. You can watch the entire video. It's short. It's less than 2 minutes. I can't watch it without crying. These individuals are not all just alcoholics and drug addicts. I don't think we can look at them and look down at them. We have to engage, and we have to realize these are human beings, all of them, and they deserve our help and our focus. And we're throwing money everywhere on blimps that fall and crash, on these far-flung ideas about illegal
$40 billion
immigrants.
on a gas station in Afghanistan that should have cost $500,000.
Bingo. Yes, and so this is an important video. I want everyone watching right now to watch this. Get involved. The National Coalition on Homeless Vets is a great organization. There's a lot we can do.
But here's the thing: it's not just a house. A lot of them need some psychological help.
Right.
It's not just a house.
You bet. It's not a handout. They helped us. We can give them a hand up.
I would say when they come back, it's our turn. Laura, that's a great challenge and motivation for everybody to watch that video today. It's the least we can do.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, 11 minutes now after the hour.